I built Nefer for 1 month.
I speak of the voices of the ancient deserts, and I bring the final judgment to you, and let's play again upon the board of shadows.
So my account has never been able to 36 star the Abyss, and with this recent one, it's safe to say I need to pull Nefer out from the basement. I talked about this idea in my last video, Accountmaxxing, because my account could use the improvements, a lot of it. Before this video, I had already worked on Nefer a bit, but I wasn't satisfied with her current build. So this week, I leveled Nefer to 90 and worked on her artifacts as I farmed for her talents. The artifacts I got weren't that great, but there were a few good ones that I decided to level up. The reason why I decided to pull for Nefer was because I wanted to make my account more meta, since I've never really focused on meta till Nodcry, and also because I already had Llama. However, maybe that was a bad idea because
if I get her, I'm pulling Duran.
I was genuinely so distraught because I spent quite a while farming for those primos, and because I wanted to get Wanderer's best team since I had neither character. Now you may be wondering, why didn't I just get Duran on his first banner? Because I was broke from trying to pull Nefer the patch before. Back to the matter at hand, I decided to make a goblet for Nefer because I knew that getting one in this ugly ass domain would be torture. It leveled up okay, but definitely a lot better than what I had before. On day 7, I had a realization. Why the hell am I using Sucrose and not Shengqiu? Wouldn't Shengqiu be better if he can help create more dendro cores? Wait, Yehoda? I decided to work on her talents this week since I had acquired a lot of her talent materials except for the ones that required resin. I did spend a bit of this week wondering about which character I should put for my 4th slot. Research tells me that if I don't have a sustain on this team, Yehoda could be one, especially if you don't have C1 Llama. As I was on the verge of leveling up my Yehoda, I found out that my resources were actually talking about C6 Yehoda, which I do not have, so Sucrose it is. So after looking at C6 Yehoda and her talents, I realized that I don't think I need her C6 since the healing comes from her talent, Sweet Berry Bounty. I still don't know whether or not to use Sucrose or Yehoda, so hopefully I can figure that out next week. I worked on getting Nefer's weapon to level 90 a bit before going to do the boss for her talent. And guys, I've never felt so much pain from attempting a boss before. I genuinely hated this chest boss because I can never fight it alone since I don't have any cryo DPS. I was going to pull for Lohan, but I've decided to devote my time to getting Duran for my Wanderer. My teammates were also picking characters that weren't suited for this boss, but I didn't quite care since I knew we'd still be able to do it with the power of friendship. Oh. It took a while to beat it, but it was worth it. I forgot to mention this earlier, but I also decided to use my feathers of whatever it's called to reroll some of the artifacts I already had. And yeah, not doing that again. I finished the week up with leveling her talents and her weapon. I didn't get to do much because most of this week was just getting stuff like her talent materials and weapon mats. Okay, this week I planned to lock in. I needed to upgrade Nefer's crit stats, and I needed to prove to myself that building Nefer wasn't a mistake and a waste of resources. Over the last 3 days, I did some thinking about who would be the 4th slot in Nefer's team. After a lot of consideration, I decided that Sucrose would be it. However, with the other lunar teams I have, I thought it would be best to build Yehoda as well, in case I would ever need to use 2 lunar teams at the same time. So, on the first day, I leveled up my Yehoda as much as I could. I farmed the Viridescent set for both Yehoda and Sucrose for 1/2 the week before moving on to farming for Silken for Llama. I must say that going back to this domain was a throwback. The last time I remember coming here was back in probably 2022. At the time, I was farming for Barbara and saving for Wanderer. Though, can I just say, has this enemy always done this much damage? I swear I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw how much my HP went down. Safe to say, I didn't underestimate him again. After all that, I then leveled up some of the good artifacts I managed to get and put them on Yehoda and Sucrose. I used some of my fragile resin to obtain more condensed resin to use. It didn't honestly hurt to use them after trying to hoard them for so long. But I really needed my Nefer to be top tier. I started to have doubts that maybe a month wasn't long enough, but I really wanted to challenge myself. A whole other reason I wanted to do this series was because I wanted to grind on Genshin again. I've 100%ed multiple regions of the game and completed many of the achievement categories. As well as reach Reputation 10 in many areas. However, something I've always lacked was the motivation to build my characters. I would start to build a few before giving up when I wasn't getting the results I wanted fast enough. Hopefully with this series I can evolve my Genshin count as well as grow my own channel and skills to find like-minded people. Anyways, enough with that sappiness. Midway through the week I realized that I can also shrine back artifacts. So, guess what I did? Seriously, why is it that my luck is great for this set, but not for the sets that I need it for? The last time I strongboxed artifacts was in April, and you can watch it because I made a video about it. I won't spoil much, but one thing I will say is an apology for how quiet and awkward I am. Leveled these ones up for nothing. This week I wanted to fully level Lauma, Yehoda, and Sucrose. I got to work immediately and used a lot of fragile resin. I managed to level 90 Sucrose and Yehoda on the first 2 days, but so I immediately got to work on Lauma on the 3rd day. After I finished leveling them all up, I went back to the trenches and farmed artifacts for Nefer for the rest of the week. I also changed Lauma's weapon and leveled that one up as much as I could. This week was pretty chill since all I was doing most of the time was farming for Nefer. It has been a long journey, one of which that I hope was worth it. This entire month I hadn't done a damage test, which in all honesty I probably should have, and I kind of regret not doing one. So I've just been hoping she is doing better. Nearing the end of this video, I found myself a little sad it was coming to an end. The hardships I had to overcome to the peaks I reached was going to be something I would miss, which is okay because I'll be putting myself through this again with Durin this time. During the second week, I actually managed to get Durin. Originally, I was planning to build Veressa next, but since I got him, I decided to build him first. Okay, now back to the video. Unfortunately, this domain hates me, so I didn't get anything noteworthy. I was down in the dumps till I realized I could actually make another artifact. I didn't mind the HP stats, though I'm sure it would have been better if it had some EM on it. Nevertheless, I leveled it up and oh my god. I very obviously happily accepted this outcome. And now it's time for the thing we've all been waiting for.
Deserts and I bring the fun and judgment to you and let's play again upon a board of shadows. Surprise is your soul, the rest of you might.
Admittedly, it's been a long month, but it was worth it if it meant I got closer to maxing out my Genshin account. As I stated before, my next account maxing video will be with Durin. So hopefully that goes well and I'll be able to simultaneously upgrade my Wanderer's team. Losing my 50-50 to Nicole was a bit sad, but I'm sure I'll get her next time. I actually made a short form version of this video, which I honestly think might be a bit more entertaining than this video, which is a bit... I really gotta up my game for longer videos. With that being said, this has been Days. It would be great if you could subscribe or at least leave a like to support me in my YouTube journey. I hope to catch you in my next video. Oh, and by the way, I graduated.